because it's unlisted. It's unlisted, that's why. So, how do I? Why is this so damn loud? What is up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream ASMR. Soldier, I forgot my headphones in the car, so that kind of sucks, but I am here. I am live, and let me know if the audio is good because I don't have my headphones. So I'm just going to whisper directly into the microphone and hope that all is well. I am hoping that the audio is well. Please type in the chat number 1 or let me know if know, let me know. And then, we'll get this stream kicking. We'll do some Q&A if you want. Whatever y'all want to do. I'm here for y'all. I'm here for y'all. We're gonna be here for a little bit. I got some time right now. Just got out of church, so I am here for y'all. Let me know if the audio is working, please. We can start with some mic brushes with a dead cat. Oh, that looks terrible. With a green screen. There's Jimmy. Sleep, hope you have a great night. I'm gonna be listening to your whispers as I fall asleep. Could you do some motivational type of thing? Oh, dude, I got you, bro. Okay. So, a lot of people think that they want motivation, right? I'm gonna tell you right now, motivation is what gets you going, right? It doesn't keep you going. Motivation just gets you going. What keeps you going is dedication and good habits. You build those dedications and those good habits by setting goals and achieving those goals. Now, if you never have any goals and you never achieve anything, your self-esteem will go down and your confidence will go down and your competency will go down because you're going to constantly be doubting yourself. So the way to do it is to, I forgot to press record, the way to do it is to set goals, achievable goals, right? Start with small ones, right? Plan out, you want a big goal, and then you gotta list out all the little things that you gotta do in order to get that to that big goal. Excuse me. Once you get to that big goal, or even the little goals that you achieve, you will start to build that confidence. And with that confidence, right, you learn hopefully new skills and new things that you didn't know about yourself that you can do. So you absolutely have to work on your goal setting. You have to set goals, small to big, and then list out what it's going to take to get there. Obviously, you want to keep it realistic. Okay, so for me, I can never set the goal of being US president. And some of you might think, well, that's crazy, why not? I'll tell you why not. Because I am not a US born citizen. Although I am a US citizen, I wasn't born in the US. And the Constitution says that the president has to be US born, right? In the continental US. Since I was born in Cuba, and I became a citizen when I was 18. That's, the reason why. So I have to keep that goal realistic. If I do want to serve in public office, I would have to do something along the lines of maybe a governor or a senator, but that's like at the very top, right? That's the highest I can go. I can't go any higher than that. But if I don't want to do that, well, not just that, I have to keep it realistic, right? I would have to hold some lower level positions first, kind of learn the in and outs. But I think politics is a bad idea. Sorry, that's work. I think politics is a bad idea because I really do think most politicians, they may start with good intentions, but then they become corrupt over time. So the higher the position, the more corrupt you might become, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But, that's all it is. So let's take fitness. For example, if I want to lose 10 pounds, it would be unrealistic to say, hey, I am going to lose 10 pounds by next Sunday. It could be done, but it's, one, extremely unhealthy. And then two, 90% of people, it's unrealistic and it's not very healthy. So when you're setting that goal, if I want to lose 10 pounds, you want to shoot for 1 to 2 pounds a week, right? It doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is. You do 1 to 2 pounds a week, and if you want to do 10 pounds, that could take you up to 10 weeks or 5 weeks, depending on how aggressive you want to take that. But the goal is to set realistic goals. That's the standard. If you set goals that are completely unrealistic, or even if you don't have a checklist of how to accomplish that goal, you're just kind of dreaming, and there's nothing wrong with dreaming, but dreaming without a plan or without any action taken is just a waste. You're not going to accomplish anything because you're not going to have any direction, and that's a problem, right? That's a big problem. We all want to have some clear guidance, clear direction. That's what we need in order to get to what we want. And once you start achieving those goals, you start to become more competent because you're learning things along the way. You start to build your confidence because you start achieving goals, even if they're little. You start to achieve small goals, then large goals, and over time you will see that you're going to surprise yourself on what you can do and what you can't do, and it's quite surprising. The human body and the human mind is very, very resilient, and a lot of us don't know that. A lot of people, as soon as they become uncomfortable, they call it quits, and I think it's a shame, to be honest. I think it's a big shame that a lot of people don't reach their full potential or even half of it because they get into an uncomfortable position or an uncomfortable spot and they just call it quits because their body hurts, or they didn't get that goal right away. But I like to tell everybody, Rome wasn't built in a day. It took a long time. It took a lot of people to make Rome what it was, and that's the way you gotta think about your goals. You gotta think that it's gonna take time, because it is gonna take time. It's not gonna get done overnight. But you just have to believe that you can do it and set realistic goals for yourself. So, Jimmy, I hope that helped. We can get back to some brushing, or look at that deck cat looks terrible on the green screen. I think it's because of all the gray. So let's try some wipes. I'm gonna have to put this somewhat away from the screen because it is kind of loud. Oh no, that looks bad. It kind of kills the light a bit. I am not sure why. Maybe I could crinkle it in front of my face right here. Oh no, look at that. That looks bad. I think I need to maybe turn this light. Turn that light a bit over. That's a bit better. This is kind of loud. Maybe. Let's go to sleep. Okay, some facts about the military. I think one thing I've learned about myself in the military fall asleep almost anywhere if I'm tired enough. I could fall asleep on the floor, on the street, on top of a vehicle, like on the hood of a vehicle, and I will be comfortable if I'm tired enough. Because the army, sometimes you just kind of sit around and you wait for orders to come down, and you're tired. You've been up since 3 in the morning. It's freaking 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're tired. You haven't got any rest. Sometimes it's later, and I've learned that I can sleep almost anywhere. I think one of the biggest things that I've learned about myself in the army is that I'm pretty resilient. You know, I've been through a lot of stuff, and I know a lot of soldiers that have been through worse than me, and you know they're resilient as well. Like I said, right, the mind is a very resilient tool that we have as humans, and we have to identify things that are trying to hurt us or harm us, or negative thought patterns. Hey Stephen G, how you doing? Welcome to the live. Welcome. I'm doing all right. Some harmful thought patterns are, I'm not good enough. Everything is my fault. You know, this only happens to me. Those are negative thought patterns. You have to be able to identify that yes, you are indeed good enough, that not everything is your fault. Some things are completely out of your control, and that's okay. The only thing you can do when something is not in your control is how you react to them. And then the other one was everything happens to me, right? And that's just not true a lot of the time. Yeah, thanks Jimmy. Everybody leave a like, leave a like. The whole everything happens to me, everything happens to me, that's an extremely negative thought process, because when you start thinking like that, you attract negativity to you, right? And that's not what we want to do as humans. So the army has really taught me to be resilient. Another thing that I've learned firsthand about the army is, you know, that I could be a one tough mother effer, you know, not just mentally but physically. You'd be surprised what our bodies can do if we push it and we train for it. There's this Navy SEAL that says there's a 70-30 rule, right? And he says that when you are at your point where you are just done, you are completely done, you're ready to give up, you don't want to walk another mile, you don't want to do another push-up, he says that you've only used 70% of your capacity, that you're only at 70, because you're inside your comfort box, your little comfort zone, and the other 30% is what's going to take you to be successful. And you have to push yourself a lot of the times. You have to push yourself a lot of the times to get past that 70%. And you also have to be able to identify the difference between an injury and discomfort, right? A lot of the times we think we're injured because something hurts or because something doesn't feel good. That doesn't mean we're injured. That just means that we've never passed that threshold of comfortability, that our body is used to just being there, when in reality, our bodies are capable of 30% more. That's his mentality, and I think that's such a good one. And that has gotten me to achieve some things that, you know, I never thought I could, because when you think you're done, you're like, no, I got 30 left. I got 30% left in me. And then you push that extra 30%, and next thing you know, you're accomplishing something you thought you would never accomplish. And the feeling after you've accomplished it is phenomenal. It feels just incredible when you tackle on something that you didn't think you could do, or you didn't think you could pass, and you pass it. You feel like you're on top of the world, and then kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about, um, achieving goals builds your confidence, and then that confidence instills competence. And honestly, that's what makes good leaders. Um, Being able to make a decision and stick with it on the spot because one, you've experienced it, so you have that past experience, or two, you're so confident in your decision making that you're not worried if it's the right or the wrong decision, right? Because sometimes there is no right or wrong decision. Sometimes you just gotta make a decision. So that's one thing I've learned about the Army. I've been in 12 years, 22 years. I've been in 12 years, and over time your body breaks down. I'm 33 now, and I don't recover like I used to. I get tired a lot easier. I wake up sore with back pain, with knee pain, but it adds up. It happens. But I know the difference between the injury and discomfort. So I know that. Sorry, that's my wife. But I know that I'm not injured. I'm just uncomfortable. Hold on, guys. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I know the difference between discomfort and pain, and when I wake up, I'm in a little bit of pain. Excuse me, between discomfort and injury. And when I wake up, I'm in a little bit of pain because I'm getting older, and I don't recover as well, and it just happens. It is what it is. But over time, um, I just have to dial it back a little bit while I'm continuing to just push forward and try to achieve different goals that I have. That's all it is. I've learned really good leadership skills, and a lot of it has come from, like I said, experience, making bad decisions, and sticking with it and learning from those bad decisions. I've learned, okay, this is the way, I'm not gonna do that next time, or this is the way I'm not gonna treat people because it's counterproductive. Excuse me. So I try to identify those shortcomings and adapt for the next time that I'm in that position, and that's all life is. All life is gaining experience from learning and applying it to the next time you come across that situation in particular, because if you just keep making the same mistake over and over, is it really a mistake at that point? So what else have I learned in the military? I've learned that a lot of people get by in the military, and they should not be in the military. They shouldn't be there because maybe, they're not physically capable, or they're not mentally capable. Stephen G. The Army can be scary. Your first time it can be scary, your first year or two, but honestly, it's one of the easiest jobs I've ever had because I show up, I know where I have to be, when I have to be there, and in what uniform. So it's an easy job. When it becomes difficult as you start to advance and you start to promote. So I'm in a position where I'm in charge of 22 people. I have to make decisions about their everyday life as far as being in the military, right? I have to give them directions. I have to give them orders. I have to give them tasks. So it becomes a little bit more difficult because at that point, not everyone's going to like you. Not everyone's going to like your decision. But at the end of the day, it's to better advance our organization, to be better postured for either war or combat or communications or whatever the goal may be. A lot of soldiers may not like that because, maybe they was not a scary place, even when I was deployed. I think I was only really scared the first month, because we were taking a lot of indirect fire. And what indirect fire is, the opposite of direct fire. Basically, we were taking mortars every night. And the first week there, the first month there, I was petrified. I thought I was gonna surely die in Iraq. But over time, that fear went away because I had to trust that my leaders had my best interest at heart. And I had to rely on my training to know that if something did happen, I knew where to go, who to link up with, and what to bring, right? I had to trust my training that if things went south, I would be able to fight. Now, some call that complacency, where you just kind of like, if I die, I die, right? Which, I'm not gonna lie, somewhat became my mentality. Because, like, if you're gonna die, then you're just gonna die, and that's rough to say. But the sooner you accept that, the better prepared you are to be able to fight. Because if you're constantly afraid of getting hit or dying, then what happens is you lose sight of the picture, you lose focus, and other people might actually die. So you have to accept it, that it might happen, and then just drive on, accomplish the mission, take care of your guys to your left and right, make sure no one's hurt and everyone's on their P's and Q's, as they say, right? It can be scary, but my time in Iraq, I spent it with some really great people that I still talk to this day, and that was over 10 years ago. I still talk to them to this day. A lot of them, actually all of them, have gotten out of the military either because they wanted to or because, they got injured and they had to medically retire, which is, it's good for them because they didn't get kicked out, right? So, the army is not that scary. When it's wartime, it can be. But we're not at war right now, thank God. As far as the future, I can't speak on that because I'm still active duty. So I can't give my opinion on what may or may not happen in the future. And before you guys ask, I don't know. I barely know what's going on next week, Alright, y'all can keep the questions coming. Keep them coming, guys. What do you want to know about me in the army? What do I like to do for fun? Anything. Y'all can ask me anything. I'm kind of an open book. So until then, I will brush the mic. Make sure you like the video, please. What's my favorite jam at the moment? I'm kind of all over the place with my music selection. I really enjoy. Let me see. I'll show you guys. Yeah, mic brushing's awesome. It's definitely one of my favorite triggers. So let me see. Right now, this is my music selection right now. It's kind of all over the place, right? I have Avenged Sevenfold, Lil Wayne, and Lil Mabu. And it's just all over the place. Sorry about the green screen getting all crazy. It's mainly, what I like to listen to at the gym. Like hard rap or like heavy metal when I'm at the gym. Okay, we got 9 viewers. Hey, if you're coming in, please go ahead and leave a like. It helps the channel a long way. Yeah, man, some of Lil Wayne's old stuff, whoa, super fire. It reminds me of my high school days and my Iraq days, actually. Okay, last question for real. In the morning, whispers. Ooh, okay. Okay, so it all started. It all started in 2010. I was I was in college and I had some friends that were joining the military, and I was curious to why, and they started telling me some of the benefits, right? You get pay, you get health insurance, you get free school, and you get to retire after 20 years. So, um, I started asking questions of some people I knew that were active duty in the military. So one day, I thought I wasn't going anywhere. I was growing up in Florida, and we were going through a recession. There wasn't much that I could do as far as job-wise or career-wise. So I decided to go to the recruiter's office, and I just said, hey, I want to enlist. And at the time, I wanted to be a helicopter mechanic. But that didn't work out. They wanted me to wait 6 months to become a helicopter mechanic, and I did not want to wait 6 months. So I said, hey, sign me up for the first job that gets me, to basic training. And, they put me as a communication specialist, right? I had no idea what that was, no idea what it entailed, but I was able to get a clearance and a background check, and everything was good to go. So I shipped off in May to Georgia for basic training. Basic training at the time, looking back, was the hardest thing I ever did. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and I remember thinking on my first day, I said, what did I just get myself into? Because the drill sergeants were screaming in your face, and they're dropping you, making you do push-ups, run around, and I thought I was gonna pass out. I've never been in that situation. That level of stress was new to me. So I ended up passing basic, barely, because I dislocated my shoulder in the middle of basic training. But I was still able to pass, and I was out of shape. I couldn't rug, which means walking long distances with a heavy backpack. I couldn't rug. I couldn't run very fast. I couldn't do push-ups. I was a fat body. I was a fat boy, and I was really out of shape. Okay, fast forward. I go to my first duty station, right? I'm in Texas, and it's hot. I'm used to the humidity, but this was like a desert. It was really hot, and I wasn't ready for it. But I learned so much my first duty station. That's where I deployed from. That's where I met some of my best friends, that some of them became my brothers, right? They became my family. They know me, they know my son, they know my wife. I know them, I know their wives, and I know their kids. We became family. I got promoted a lot while I was in Texas. I learned a lot about leadership. Then I went to Korea for the first time, and it was kind of boring, I'm not gonna lie, because I felt like there wasn't a clear intent on what our mission was. We were just there. A lot of the times we were just doing things to do things to keep soldiers busy, so I didn't feel productive. But I met a mentor, and he taught me a lot about leadership, and I kind of switched up my leadership mentality, and it became focused more on taking care of the soldiers than making the mission happen, because you take care of the soldiers are going to make the mission happen. So that helped. Then I went back to Texas. This time it was okay. I didn't enjoy it much either, but at least I had a house out there. I already knew some friends, so it was okay. After that, after my second time in Texas, I went to New York. Not New York City. I went to Watertown, New York. Fort Drum. The second coldest place I have ever been to in my life. It was snowing, and it was like negative 32 degrees in April, and in May it was miserable. I never want to go back there again. Drum was kind of a pinnacle time in my life and in my career. excuse me, I had got divorced from my first wife, and that's where I met my second wife after my divorce. And that was one of my biggest regrets, was being married to that person. I don't regret meeting them and going through what I went through, because it made me who I am. It made me a lot stronger, and it made me a lot more confident in myself. The only thing I do regret is marrying that person, and she was just not a good person for me. That's all it is, right? I'll leave it at that. Then I decided to go to an assessment for a special unit, right? And this unit, you were expected to know more than your peers. You were expected to be able to problem solve, be able to work autonomously, right? Work by yourself. And I got accepted. So I spent the next 3 years in Carson. That's in Colorado. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I found two loves out there. Right? One of them was my love for camping and the outdoors. I miss it. I miss it a lot. I miss going out to the wilderness and cutting down a tree and starting a fire and living off the land for a night or two or even 3 nights. And then the second was my wife. I met my wife out there in Colorado, and excuse me, we met in, I think, 2020, right before the whole pandemic started to happen. So when the pandemic happened, I was like, hey, just come live with me. She met my son, and my son loves her, and she loves my son. So we got married, I think. Oh my god, it's gonna be bad. I think in 21. I don't remember the year we got married, but we got married in February, I know that. And, things are great. You know what I mean? Like, I was meant to find this woman, and I hope this woman was meant to find me. Fast forward a couple of years, I get orders to come to Korea by myself. So, luckily, I knew a few people, and I had to pull a couple strings to get her to come along, and that's worked out great. She's in the bathroom right now taking a bath. So it's worked out great, and now we're here in Korea for the second time. I just gave you the very abridged version of my 12-year career. Oh man, 12 years into, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes. If I could do one thing different, I would join the army right after high school. I think it would have taught me I have learned some discipline and respect and structure, and I think I could have benefited from that before, like immediately after high school. I think it would have been a little bit more beneficial for me before high school. But I mean, the Army's been great to me, man. Whenever somebody tells me that they want to join, I tell them, hey, make sure you have a clean record. Make sure, you can pass a drug test, and just be ready to get yelled at and be motivated. The thing about the Army is you're going to have people that you don't like to work with, and you're going to have people that you love to work with, and it's the same thing outside in the civilian world. Only difference is in the Army, you can't really get fired, right? If you do a bad job, all they can do is retrain you, right? Retrain you. But yeah, I enjoy it. I wish I would have joined right after high school. I would have been at probably 15 years of service, maybe a little bit more advanced in rank. But I don't regret anything else. My career choices have led me to be who I am. They've led me to my wife. Only thing I wish is I could have my son closer. He's all the way back in the United States, and I'm in Korea, which is, I don't know, like 15,000 miles. Something ridiculous like that. But yeah, that's the abridged version of my Army career. See if I could. You guys remember this guy? See if it'll hold. There we go. Somehow he's throwing off the green screen. He's throwing it off. Alright, let's put little buddy back. Man, I miss doing live streams. I miss doing them. I think next time I'm gonna try to do a live stream either tomorrow, like really early in the morning, my time, which will be nighttime for you guys. Let me see what it is, what the time is in the East Coast right now. Cause right now over here it's 4:34 p.m. East Coast time. Okay, so right now over there 17:56, is that right? It's 5 p.m. That can't be right. Wow, it is. It's 5:31 p.m. So the East Coast, oh dang, sorry. In the East Coast, you guys are just 11 hours ahead. Okay, that's good to know. So it's 5:31, but somehow it's 4. Oh no, what? It says p.m. How does that make sense? Oh, I'm sorry, you guys are 11 hours behind. That doesn't make sense. How is it p.m.? There we go, that makes more sense. It's 3:34 a.m. My Googling searches have decreased over time. Okay, so you guys are 11 hours. 11 hours. 13 hours behind us. Yeah, you guys are 13 hours behind us. I'm living in the future. Right now it's Sunday over here. Technically Sunday for you guys, but it's Sunday afternoon for me. Guys, it's always a pleasure to have you guys on. Jimmy, Stephen G. You know, all of you that are lurking. You can lurk, that's fine. Just please go ahead and leave a like. Alright, we're about to hop off here in a little bit. Gotta spend some time with my wife. Enjoy our Sunday night. And I will be back tomorrow morning, my time, PM for you guys. So we could have more viewership, more interaction. I know you guys are trying to sleep right now. And I love this, I miss this. Work has been crazy. Let me just say that. Work has been crazy. I've got soldiers that I gotta take to the hospital because they're having issues. I've got soldiers that sometimes don't show up on time and I gotta go hunt them down because I don't want them to be in a ditch somewhere. But I want to thank you all for, always being a part of the ASMR soldier community. Leaving a like, watching, as much as you guys do. I truly appreciate it. Y'all really have no idea. And I'm so glad to have you guys here. I hope that you guys come back tomorrow when I go live again. And check out the Patreon. Okay, Patreon is in the link below. You could support the channel for as little as $1. $1 a month. You get access to the Discord and you get pictures of me in the army. I think it's awesome. Check out the Discord. The Patreon. Check it out. Alright, you guys are awesome. I'm out of here. You guys finally get some sleep. I hope y'all are sleeping right now. But I will be leaving here in the next 5 minutes. Much love, and remember, I've got your 6.